back on this sixth night. The work does continue there, the crater and all that destruction downtown.
Upon President Bush's return to the White House today from Camp David, he vowed to get the evildoers, saying they had made a terrible, terrible mistake in assuming that the U.S. would not take immediate action. Pablo Guzman is here now with the latest on the investigation. We have arrests and arrest warrants. Pablo?
Todd, Dana, step by step it happens. Now, most of you know that yesterday the FBI raided an apartment in Jersey City where two men lived who were pulled off a train in Texas and are now back in New York, being held in connection with Tuesday's attacks. Ayub Ali Khan, 51, and Mohammed Jawi Azma, 47, taken off the train they had boarded after their flight out of Newark, like every other flight in America, was ordered down after the attacks in New York, Washington, and Pennsylvania. However, what no one outside the terrorist task force knows is that just a couple of blocks away from that Jersey City apartment the FBI raided yesterday and where they had evidence removed is another apartment building, one that investigators told me, quote, is swarming with suspects. Suspects who I'm told were cheering on the roof when they saw the plane slam into the Trade Center. Now, police were called to the building by other neighbors and found 8 men celebrating, 6 of them tenants in the building. The FBI and other terrorist task force agencies then arrived, and the older investigators on the task force recalled that they had been to this building before, 8 years ago, when the first World Trade Center attack led them to Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman, whose Jersey City mosque lies between the two buildings getting attention today. And the older investigators remembered that suspects who eventually got convicted for the first Trade Center case, followers of Sheikh Rahman, lived in the building where these same 8 men were celebrating the destruction that they saw from the roof. Calling this a hot address, the task force investigators ordered everyone detained. And they saw something else, a model of the Trade Center on the roof, along with sets of binoculars, the kind of model used by an architect or an engineer for a presentation, an investigator told me. They knew, he said, that the planes were going to hit, and they wanted a ringside seat. Remember, part of what motivates Osama bin Laden against the United States, he has told followers, is that the United States put Sheikh Rahman in jail. Bin Laden has said that for that, the U.S. must pay.
Yeah.
Todd?
Pablo, it's absolutely chilling the fact that they were sitting there waiting, watching, getting ready to celebrate the fact that the Twin Towers would topple.
You know, the first investigators on the scene, after the first police, and even the first FBI agents didn't realize the scope of what happened. They thought maybe these guys thought they were cheering a fireworks display. But when the other investigators saw the model, saw the binoculars, and remembered that address and what it really meant to the first Trade Center bombing, that's when they said, we've got to grab everybody.
All right, Pablo. Thank you. Pablo Guzman.
A lot of people